Hello there, Zara from 17 once again. This is a channel update, and for once I'm not going to be talking about Patreon, guys, so if you're one of those people who's not a big fan of that, don't fear, it's not going to be in this sequence. I'm going to make a separate video talking about Patreon, because I want to thank some people, and I want to discuss some factors that have changed on YouTube and what will change moving forward. So if I can have a dedicated video for that, it'll probably be a better space for it, so that this can just simply be for the people who are interested in the channel. I'm going to have to take this kind of slow too, because you can probably hear my throat is trash at the moment. Super ironic as well. I've been enjoying the Christmas season, I've been getting all festive, I've been seeing family, spending time with my girlfriend. I've been kind of trying to do, some of the things that I don't get to do too much, and just ignore the things that I do far too much of. So I have been a little bit absent on YouTube over the last week or two, and I might not have been as ingrained in replying to people via comments and on Twitter and things, I'd say for about a week, because I've just kind of been taking some time for myself. It's not, malicious, there's nothing behind it, guys. It was really nice to not think about YouTube, not think about, making videos, not think about a lot of the things that I think about a lot. And I'm not going to tell you that it was nice because, I have in some ways got this, very difficult task that I have to do. That's not the case at all. It's just, when you're somebody like me, I'm a very passionate person. A lot of that manifests in creativity, but creativity comes in bursts. And it is borderline obsessive at times where, it just, once that thought has been placed, I have to act on it in some ways, especially if it's an idea for something. A little bit like Inception, once she gets the idea that it's not real, she keeps trying to kill herself. It's a bit like that without the darkness of the whole suicide part. So it's nice to be able to just be like, no, I'm not going to think like that. I'm going to say, no, fuck you. I'm going to sit here and enjoy this beer and watch this film I don't really want to watch and just kind of be. And it's really nice every so often to do that, and it's a luxury to be able to do that because not everybody can. Time off is precious, and that's what I looked at it as. Even though I wasn't intentionally taking any kind of time off, it just kind of happened that way. So I've just been, relaxing, even though what I do is relaxing really in a lot of ways. I've been watching TV shows, I've been going to see different relatives and things. I've been watching a bunch of anime. And just playing some games that I'm not playing on YouTube, just kind of, doing what I would do if I didn't do this. And it was really refreshing. I think it makes you come back and appreciate, what you have and what you do. And it definitely rejuvenates you and reinvigorates you in a lot of ways, because it can get a bit down and it can get a bit tired, but you just get that nice rest and boom, you're back again. And it really is like that. It's like a supernova. But ironically, my throat was fine throughout that entire convalescence period of just, chilling out and seeing some friends and what have you. And now that I've come back to start making some videos and I'm all, rejuvenated and wanting to get back in there, my throat sounds like shit. And all I can say, guys, is it feels like it might be some kind of a throat infection. Where your throat feels like it's closing up even though it's not, and it just gives you that illusion of it being swollen, and it probably is, but you don't really think that it is. It's a little bit like that. And I keep feeling like I want to spit, like hawk up, bad stuff and spit it out, but when I do it, my spit is clear. It's just this illusion of my brain telling me that, something is going on in that area, and that's usually how I fix it. So I've kind of just got this weird sound right now, which is making me not want to do commentary, but I wanted to make this video because it's important. YouTube is important. You people listening to this are important, so I have no qualms against fighting towards some kind of war, because it doesn't hurt. It just makes me feel like I have to stop every so often and maybe cough a bit, but you won't hear that because I let it out, that kind of stuff. There's a ton of stuff I could talk about what I've been doing, because I've watched all kinds of stuff. Watched every season of Black Mirror. If you've never heard of that, that's something we should discuss. It's pretty interesting stuff. Looking forward to doing it in a commentary. I finished off all of Kill la Kill. I watched Gurren Lagann. I'm watching Psycho Pass. I've been watching a whole host of stuff that I've not really come across, which is worth discussing, because I think each of those have done something really interesting, which I'm going to talk a lot about in incoming videos, incoming commentaries, but here is not the place. I've been playing some games that are going to be turning into projects coming up. And I've also been messing around with Adobe After Effects because I've managed to get a version of it that I'm not too familiar with, and it's been a few years since I've really cut my teeth with all the motion design and motion graphics and all that kind of stuff, but it's all in there somewhere. So I've been messing around with masks, messing around with animating, doing some keyframe stuff, doing some effects stuff, just trying to make transitions and text transitions, and to move forward into the new year of making videos more important to me. More topic videos, videos with higher production, just kind of getting back into the cycle of spending a few hours to get something that you might not even notice because it's so slight, but it means a lot to me because it's got that little lilt that I can be proud of, and I am proud of my work, and my pride is one of the things that pushes me forward with, I say, this work, with this passion. But you're probably curious as to what's going to be happening on the channel, because as it stands, I've been putting up some stuff that's been running normally, but also things that aren't commentated. Like there's a series at the moment with Yakuza 3 where I'm doing hard mode, no damage boss fights to all the bosses except for 2 because they're cunts and I don't want to do those, and I didn't do those, so they're gonna not be in it. And when you see videos like that, if you're a Yakuza fan, you might enjoy them because it's, you know, it's Yakuza videos, but at the same time, to no damage in that game, you've got to be cheesy a lot of the time, so you're going to see me doing like grab loops, and you're going to see me doing AI exploits and using really powerful techniques that can be difficult to do, but still not the most motivating or interesting thing to watch, even though I tried to, you know, to use a lot of different heat moves, to try a lot of different strategies to bring forward fights that I think would be cool, but at the end of the day, some of them are really hard to do, so, you know, you end up doing bullshit, basically, so that might not be the most fun for people, and you might not have any context because I'm not commentating on them either, so you don't really know what's going on there. Well, there is a video coming after those have all aired, where it's every single one of those fights in one video with me commentating and giving you some insight. So if you are interested in understanding what those videos will be about, once the final boss is up, there'll be a full 30-45 minute video of me going through what I was doing, what I was thinking, what it was all about. And then I've got a series where the bosses can stand for themselves as just Yakuza videos, and then we can have something that is iconically me, which is coming later, so look forward to that. It was a fun series, I had a ton of fun doing it. God Hand is running on the channel. God Hand is one of those videos that I wish people loved God Hand as much as I love God Hand. God Hand, there you go, it's my game with a V. But they don't, and that's just how it is, you know. God Hand has a niche following, and not everybody appreciates it, and that's fine. Those videos are going to still exist, but as you can see from them, they never perform too well. It's just a bunch of people who really like the channel and want to listen to what I'm saying, or the people who maybe like God Hand, which is awesome, because you should like God Hand. It's a great game. Then there's been some Balls Deeps. The most recent Balls Deep I threw up did really well in the grand scheme of YouTube's new metric and how they measure things, which makes smaller channels like mine look like we're doing utter shit when we just got to a point where we were doing quite consistently well. So it's nice to see good numbers from it, but it's a Final Fantasy, so it's bound to get good numbers. Final Fantasy right now is very hot because, of course, 15. 15's just out, very controversial to some people, very sycophantic to others, and Balls Deeps are definitely going to be something that features a ton of, because I like making them and they enable me to do kind of no commitment based videos. I don't have to worry about doing a full walkthrough or a playthrough, I just have to enjoy my time with it, and if it does spark an interest or spark something within me, then we can look further into it. There's all kinds of possibilities coming from a project such as that. Also something to look forward to, I'll be doing Game of the Year this year, and Worst Game of the Year as well. I've done this, believe it or not, for 3 years on the trot, but you haven't seen them. Because when I make these videos, I have no idea why, but YouTube copyrights them for me every single time. One of them I only got, I think I did 7 videos one of the years, and only one of them got past it, but there's no point giving you midway through a countdown when you can't see the full fucking thing. So I've never really done them, even though I've done them, and they were high production videos as well, with graphics and all kinds of shit on them. So this year what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify it, so that I don't put too much fucking time in for it to not come through, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use images. Because I wasn't using cutscenes, I wasn't using anything you can think of that would copyright them, I was using parts of gameplay that I recorded myself, which is 100% covered in fair use. But they, you know, you can't argue with the robots, it's annoying. So they were always just gone. So what I'm going to do, folks, is, unfortunately, I know it kind of sucks, because you'd like to see the gameplay, I'm going to experiment with something as well, I think, maybe changing the size of some videos, we'll see. But I'm going to just do images. and then I can talk over them as if it was gameplay, but I'll just have some moving images instead. And hopefully that gets through. If that gets flagged, then there's something wrong with this planet, because there's no reason it should. But I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I've done it for a while, but as I've mentioned, you've never seen them, because you've never been able to. And it's incredibly frustrating, but hopefully this is the year that I can figure out a more palatable way of doing it. Because there's no reason they should be flagged, but for whatever reason, they always are. What else has there been? There will be more Titanfall 2 coming on. I kept meaning to get on during the holidays, but I just, as I mentioned, I got really busy with life, and it was fun. And apologies to Hobo, because I mentioned that I would get on there and shoot some dudes with him in Titanfall 2, and I never managed to do so I'm sorry about that, brother, but we'll make up for it. So you'll see more Titanfall 2. I've got a couple of movement videos coming to try and help some people that, like me, are trying to get better with the movement, and probably some kind of general tips towards just how to approach the game, because it's a little bit more complicated than your average Call of Duty, but it's just a couple of systems that once you know them, you'll not even notice they're there, and you'll probably see a lot of success. So just supporting a game I really enjoy, and hopefully you enjoy it too. Then we've got Wonderful 101, which you haven't seen in about a year. I'm gonna finish that, guys. I'm gonna finish it quite soon, because I want it to be done with on the channel. I love the Wonderful 101. He just never performed very well. And as much as I would like to be the selfish niche, YouTuber that just does what he wants and doesn't care about what people are watching, if you're not watching, there's no real point, guys. And I know it sounds kind of clinical, but it's true. If I only played the stuff that I wanted to do, the channel would be vastly different, but then you guys wouldn't enjoy it as much. And as much as I would love it to be that way, it's not about me, this. It's grown into something different. And it's about you and your, which is fantastic English from my wonderful dialect. It's about pleasing people, it's about pleasing the people who watch. And now there is, even if it's not conscious, there is a demand, there is an expectation of what lands on this channel, and I want to adhere to that, and I want to continue to please as many people as I can with it, so we're going to move forward doing kind of different things. One of them is worst throughs. Worst throughs are going to be a big feature coming forward, and I hope you look forward to them. I'm itching to play 2 games in a worst through criteria, and these 2 games are not necessarily bad games, but the games that didn't get, shall we say, reviewed too fondly, and I have a love for these games, even though I know, without my bias, that they're not the best games. So I think that could make it something interesting to analyse, because not only are the games that you might not have heard of, but the games that do have problems, while at the same time I found something I really liked about them, because they have character. And they have good mechanics in some ways, and dodgy mechanics in other ways, and then they go kind of batshit crazy for stupid reasons. The games, if you're wondering, the first one is Condemned 2. An inferior sequel, but mechanically superior, with some great ideas, but just batshit crazy direction, and something really, really cool. I love that game to death. And then the other one is Kane and Lynch 2, which is a shit game, but I love it, because I love the aesthetic, and I love the idea, and I've always felt like that game has way more potential than it ever managed to get. Mainly because they never tried. They tried a lot in the first game and they fucked up because it was mechanically unsound, but the ideas were great. And then the second game, they got rid of all the fucking ideas and they made the mechanics subpar, like just a little bit better than shitty par. Like, that's all they did. But it looked so goddamn good. It looked like Michael Mann you had Michael Mann vision for a day. And I really appreciated such a striking look to a game, even though visually it looks like shit, but it looks like the type of shit I try to make in Photoshop and After Effects, because I love that handycam recorded artifacts all over the fucking screen, you know, optical flares and lens flares and all kinds of weird interpolations of light that camera lenses do, and it completely nailed it. Everything else, not so good. It's like one long corridor of shooting that's not that interesting, but I think in the worst through format, those could really shine, because they're not full playthroughs, you don't have to trudge through stuff, and we can have the moments where I'm telling you what I liked, what I found interesting, and then the moments maybe if I get mad, or if I think it's shit, or if I go on a rant, and we can kind of put it together in a more approachable kind of video, which is something that's a little bit different, and I've done it a little bit. A lot of people think it's ego stroking. I've never seen it as that. I've just kind of seen it as, for me, for a video, when I make a video, there are certain parts of it that I think stand out. And because a lot of videos that you make are a personification of yourself, I pick the moments that resonate to me. And I have no illusion that there's probably tons of parts that you, might really like that get trimmed. But I didn't think were especially special. And you might think parts that I picked weren't that interesting or that amusing or that worthwhile being there. But you're always going to have that regardless of what I do. So it's just going to be a case of ignorance is bliss because you don't see what gets trimmed. And it doesn't really come from ego for me personally. I just want it so that when somebody sees, a playthrough that's 50 hours long, that's an investment, dude. That's like a JRPG. That's longer than you'll spend playing some games in your lifetime. Most games, because some games are really short now. So that is an investment. Not everybody has time for an investment. But if you see one that's like 2 hours because it's broken down into 25-minute videos and there's only a few of them and it's fast and it's quick and it's moving, it's a lot easier to digest. And this is not necessarily a reflection on me as a consumer, because I don't give a shit. I watched a video the other day that was 9 hours long, because it was interesting to me, and I watched all of it. I'm not one of those people that watches it for 30 seconds and then clicks off and then dislikes or whatever. I watched all of it because it was interesting. It was a speedrun of Final Fantasy 9 with good commentary. Why not? Fucking great. I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it because I had something really boring to do that day, which was a bunch of maintenance on my computer, and I just wanted some background noise, and it was perfect. But once again, what I consume isn't necessarily what my channel is. So that's something that needs to be, bear in mind. A mind in bear. So worst throughs are going to be something moving forward. So are specific videos, individual videos, which I'm going to be working on. You've seen a few of them so far. I did a tip video for Final Fantasy 15, which people who watch seem to think it was cool. This is also going to manifest into topic videos on specific things. There's a lot of mechanics that I want to research and look into where they came from, and I want to make videos on them, explaining why I think they're important and where I hope they go. And it's going to be really in-depth, hopefully, and all kinds of things that you don't think about, things that I think about, and hopefully that can be cool, because not only are you looking back into the history of games and getting some retrospect, but we're also discussing complicated things that hopefully you could be tomorrow's developers. You might be somebody who watches one of those videos, takes part in that discussion, and then when you get your job in your company, you make a game where you remember something that was said in the comment section when everybody was having a cool debate, and boom, it benefits your mechanics. That kind of forward thinking for gaming as we come together as a collective, and I think that can be really fun. So there's a few of those I'm thinking about, and they're going to be made, as opposed to some of the ones in the past what I've promised and I've never done. And at the moment, I've just done a Nier Automata, however you say that word. I've just done a video for that, of some moves that you might not know exist in the demo. And this is a video that, if you've played it and you understand what you're doing with action games, you probably don't need it, because you've figured them out yourself. And if you're quite savvy with menus, you've looked at the move list, because the move list tells you everything. It has a bestiary, it has all the things you could want in this kind of game, but it's a little bit tucked away in menus that you might not even touch, because in demos some people don't. But for the people that don't know it, hopefully they might take something away, and it might make playing Nier a little bit more fun, and it might also get them excited to buy the game when it comes out, because I want to support the game, because I think it's amazing. I think it's going to be a really, really fun game, and I'm hoping it does. So it also adds a little bit of hype towards it coming out in March, because we're moving towards January, and it's quite soon, which is awesome. So you're going to be seeing that, and you're also going to be seeing a review for The Last Guardian, which all I have to do now is splice the footage onto it. I've already edited the audio, I've already done the script, I've already recorded the script, I've already edited the music to it, even though there's one part that's a little bit too bombastic for what I'm saying, so I need to really do something about that. And I'm not all that pleased with the mix either. There are parts where I want the music to be lower, but then it doesn't have the effect I need. But this is all behind the scenes, smoke and mirror stuff you don't need to know, but you'll be seeing it shortly. And then I'm going to write the Final Fantasy 15 thing, and I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be a diatribe of how everybody's telling you that this game is amazing, and how it's really not. And why, almost without too much bias, why it's not. And it's not for me to change people's minds, because I've already lost that. And I don't want that, People have already bought it, it's already broken a bunch of records for Final Fantasy, it's already done all the things it's going to do. But I still stand behind the fact that they sold us an empty game with essentially draconian mechanics that are just as tired and as morose as anything found in a 2000 era MMO which was designed to waste your fucking time and steal your money. And that's essentially what they've done. So that's what that's going to be. I apologise if you disagree with that, but fuck you. It's going to be very verbose, and I'm looking forward to sharing it. And then we have... what's left? Is there anything else I've not covered as far as projects? So walkthroughs on the channel, I think we're up to date. The next project you're going to be seeing is going to be Yakuza 0, and I don't know what I'm doing with that game just yet, but it's going to be streamed until I figure it out. It's probably going to be feature videos, a couple of feature videos discussing parts of it, things that I liked about it, maybe things that I disliked about it, maybe a review, you know, maybe a boss focus. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with it, but suffice to say, it'll be worth your time, and hopefully it'll be of high quality. But moving forward, the focus of videos will be on making them something special, making them something that only I can make. And it's all work in progress, guys. None of it's set in stone. It doesn't mean I'm not going to make walkthroughs. I am almost certain I will make more walkthroughs. It's just a case of there will be more select so that I can apply my time where it's needed. Because I like making walkthroughs, and I like making great walkthroughs, and I feel that there are times when I achieve that. But I also feel like there are times when they're just not needed, because games are getting easier, and when they do start getting harder, maybe, you know, it'll reignite the need for somebody like me. But up until that point, there is so many other avenues that we can explore, so many other ways of covering things that can be really, really fun as well. And so many different topics, so many different tangents, so many different everything. And then of course there is streaming. I've not streamed now for about a week and a half, and that sucks. I really should have, but as I mentioned, I got busy. I'm going to try and change that because I really do like streaming. It's a bit awkward, but it's fun, and everybody seems to enjoy it, and we can pull like 70 to 80 people, which is amazing, that many people will take time out of their day to exist around us, which I think is fucking cool, and it enables us to have a lot of fun. And I think that'll be probably one of the best ways to think tank a lot of the stuff that happens on the channel, because as I said earlier, you people make it, you know. It's easy for me to sit here and be like, pretty fucking good, aren't I? Yes, you know. Don't know if you noticed this, but I kind of make videos on the internet, and I'm kind of a big deal. Like, it's easy for me to do that and sniff my own asshole and believe my own bullshit, but at the end of the day, it's all a lie. It really is. It leads into this fucking icon worship that we just have nailed to a T that I've never really understood. And you notice it all the time. Like recently there's been a lot of celebrities passing away. It's very sad. Don't want to take away anything from that. It's very sad, and it's a rough time, especially if you're a big fan of their work and that. But people die every minute, guys. Every fucking minute someone's dying. Somebody just died then, and you don't need Bono to click his fingers. It's happening anyway. They never get celebrated in the paper, do they? They never get on the news because they didn't sing a song you liked, or they weren't in a movie that you thought was cool. It's fucking grim, and it's so stupid. Materialistic doesn't even cover it. That vanity is insane, yet look at all these people and all these outcries to things, and that's what it is. Like, it's just this epic pantomime of nonsense that's founded on lies, that's fueled by people that believe them. And I'm no different to you. Those people are no different to you. They just had the talent that was really cool, and they did something that enriched your life, which is amazing, and you can't take anything away from that. But we're all just people, you know, and we die, and that's the part that sucks, which is why I will always say, in almost any facet of life, if this doesn't show you that you should do what you love, do something you believe in, do something you want to do, instead of wasting your life, I don't know what does. Because you could be dead tomorrow, you know? You've got to enjoy it, because you don't know what comes after. Nobody does. There's no books that can tell you. There's no people who read said books who can tell you either. There's just whatever's there. It could be fucking awesome. It could be a Kylie Minogue song on repeat for eternity, and it gets louder every time you scream. We don't know. But what we do know is that you make this channel awesome, and I'm incredibly appreciative of you. And I hope you've had a really good Christmas, and I hope you have an even better New Year. Because 2017 is going to be my year. It's going to be our year, collectively. If you're associated with this channel, you're going to get the fortune as well. And hopefully it's going to build towards something amazing. This thing that we've been building for so long, might finally see its fruition. It might see that thing that we've been building towards, and I don't know what that is, but I'm looking forward to discovering it with you kind people. So leave me some feedback, folks. What you think? What kind of videos are you excited for? What kind of things do you think are going to be good? What kind of things do you think are going to be bad? And then lastly, which is kind of proof that you watched to the end of the video, and also something I wanted to ask in a separate video, and I still might, what would you want to see? If you could see anything on the channel, because right now there's nothing out for 21 days. That's a long period. It gives me a great amount of time to go back and finish things, and to get everything up to date, and to make things, but it also, there's a lapse of immediacy, and everybody wants something different. Everybody will pull you different ways, but sometimes it's nice just to see what the collective rabble is. What if you could pick anything and you could get your wish, what would it be? And everybody's going to say something different, but it's interesting to see. But that's it, guys. That's pretty much the end of it. As I've mentioned, I will be making a video about Patreon, because the people who support me on Patreon are ridiculous. They're amazing, and it really, really helps me continue to fuel this. Because YouTube right now is kind of crazy, absolutely crazy. But I don't want to talk too much about it, because I don't want to bore you guys. YouTube's been all squirrely at the moment. It's affecting people's money, it's affecting people's ability to pay bills. It's a serious thing. Patreon is amazing on that side, because as much as they are, straight up totalitarian, greedy bastards, just skimming from the top of kind people trying to support artists, it is something that really does help. And I need to talk about it, because I don't talk about it enough. And I'm not going to become somebody who shills it every stream, because Darkseidphil does that enough for the planet, doesn't he? And nobody likes that, and it doesn't make anybody pledge more, it just guilts people. And if you're associated with my channel out of guilt, then I've failed at what I'm doing. You should want to be here, and that's how I feel, as controversial as some of my points may be. But yeah, thank you for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the coming videos. You take care now.